I wasn't ready. So good.
Let them keep on talking, girl, we said nobody. They keep on talking, but I want nobody now.
Before we get into this recipe, I have to start off by saying thank you, Throwdown Lovers. Thank you so much. I didn't even know how you guys were gonna take the kitchen tour, but clearly it was one of your favorites. A lot of you have been inspired, and I have to say I'm so glad that I was able to inspire creativity in others, show people different ways to make things functional, and to top it off, just the fact that I'm finally back to sharing my recipes with you. And ever since I dropped my video, the Throwdown Lovers squad has significantly increased. And I have to say thank you so much for joining the squad. This is our gang sign. It's our gang. It's not our gang sign. But I have to say thank you so much. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Miss Mandy. I do a lot of food content, a lot of lifestyle content, also fitness. And speaking of fitness, today's recipe is truly inspired with the fact that I went back to the gym a year ago and I ain't even stopped. It's been a year. I've celebrated my body goals. So this is one of the dishes or snacks that I have been snacking on throughout my fitness journey. And the best part is this: it's super filling, it's super tasty, and we are not gonna be deep frying those samosas. They're gonna be baked, and they're gonna be stuffed with a lot of lean meat and packed with a lot of flavors. You know what? Let me stop trying to make myself salivate, you and I. Let's just get into it and throw it the hell You're definitely gonna need some pastry pockets, and these I went ahead to buy them, of course. As you can see, they're packaged. I just don't have the time to make that from scratch right now. I also have an egg. We're gonna be using some egg white, 3 cloves of garlic. We can go crazy and add 4, but we also have 1 teaspoon of ginger that we have gone to grate. We have some onion right here, which we're gonna use half of it, and we have some dania, some cilantro, some coriander, whichever way you want to call it. We're definitely going to be throwing in some of this for some flavor. And give it a nice wash. Last night I had ended up cooking some ground beef because earlier on in the day I decided to thaw the whole kg of ground beef. So as a result, I had to brown everything, and I ended up browning what we're cooking today. And I just browned this until, I just cooked this until it was brown, really. Added a pinch of salt because it was in a huge pot, and added a pinch of ginger. But now it's time for us to heighten the flavor to this ground beef. We're gonna start things off by getting our pan nice and hot. Using the garlic presser, we're just gonna throw in some fresh garlic in here. And this is 1 clove so far. I'm gonna be using just a pinch of salt to help the onions sweat just a bit. Need to add in our ginger. We're just gonna let it cook down. Right now my heat is on medium-low. Added in some onions. The rest of the onions. I'm turning up the heat a bit more, and then I'm just gonna add in another sprinkle of salt to help these new onions just sweat a bit. Looks and smells so good. So at this point, I'm gonna add in my spices, some of them. 1 teaspoon of paprika. Gonna be adding in about half a teaspoon of some black pepper and half a teaspoon of cumin powder as well. So we just want the spices to just slightly cook. Then we're gonna go ahead and add in our ground beef. Now while this ground beef cooks down, we want the ground beef to cook down with flavor, of course. So we're gonna go ahead to add in another clove of garlic while this is cooking. Turning up the heat to medium-low, medium-high actually. I just want want everything to cook with the spices. So what we're gonna proceed to do is add in another half a teaspoon of cumin powder. Add in some more paprika. Just gonna let the spices cook with everything. So that's what we're gonna do for a couple of minutes. Before everything started cooking, I've been preheating my oven. It's currently on its highest temperature, and we're just gonna get it nice and hot. Gonna stir in that paprika. First time I made these, I realized like as much as the ground beef is lean, I've noticed it usually needs just a little bit of oil to elevate it a bit more. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. We're just gonna add in just a bit more. You can see it's helping it already. We're just gonna add in a little bit more salt. Of course, we're gonna stir that in. Add in about 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm gonna go ahead to add in my dhania, coriander, cilantro, whichever way you wanna call it. Stirring everything in so that everything can combine. I'm just gonna up the ante and add in just a hint of cumin. In about 6 to 8 minutes, our ground beef is ready and ready to take off the heat. And that's what I'm gonna do, but you know what? I'm gonna taste it. I wanna taste it before I start packing the samosas because I just wanna know if the flavor is just perfect. Mmm. That's how good it is. It's so on point. Okay, let's pack these samosas. In order to make some bomb samosa pockets, we're gonna need some glue or some gum to hold them together. So a lot of people usually, of course, make the pastry for the samosas, and you can use that as your gum. I've gone ahead to kind of switch things up a bit. I'm gonna be using an egg, and for that, we're gonna actually be using the egg white. So I'm gonna show you. We're just gonna separate. We're not gonna use the yolk. So we're just gonna go ahead and dispose the yolk.
I'm gonna throw the yolk away. I'm just only gonna use the egg white. So guys, I have my egg white.
We're gonna lightly beat our glue mix. Lightly beat it. If you do not have one of these brushes, you definitely got a finger. You definitely got a child who got a finger, or a cousin, or somebody in the house who got fingers. That's all I got to say. And you can of course use your fingers to help glue everything together. I learned how to make samosas through my uncle actually years ago, before he passed on. So it was one of his things. He enjoyed teaching his nieces and nephews how to cook. I know they usually come frozen, however I do suggest that you thaw them. When you thaw them, it's so much more easier to break them apart. So I know quite a bit of people usually struggle and don't know how to stuff with these pockets. However, here's the trick. You'll just fold over and fold over the other side. You just want to be able to make a triangle. That's really what it is, because you're stuffing it in. So what I usually tend to do is I put it on the board, and then we're gonna just go ahead and dip our brush into here. Brush on the egg white onto the side so that it can be able to hold everything, and in the middle as well. And then you're just gonna make sure it just sticks together. So now what I like to do is of course make all the pockets first before I proceed to start stuffing them. So that's what I'm gonna continue doing right now. All of our samosa pockets are ready. So now it's time to fill them up. I'm just gonna go ahead and use a tablespoon to fill these up. So I usually go with like half a tablespoon, like I just go slowly, and then I make sure that I can be able to close it. So once all your pockets are filled, it's time to do the magic. So what you need to do is just take your glue, apply on the edges, I know you guys know how to take care of your edges, right? So just do that and close it. All of our samosas are ready to go into the oven. We're gonna go ahead and take our baking tray and we're gonna line it up with some foil in order to lay out the samosas. We're gonna go ahead and drizzle some olive oil onto these samosas, and we're just gonna apply this oil onto both sides of the samosas. Then it's time to bake. "28 minutes later, we're just gonna lay out these samosas right here as so. You can of course put them onto a paper towel if they have a little bit of excess oil. And now of course it's time for the best part. I wasn't ready. So good. These samosas are so on point. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of my baked beef samosas. I'm probably gonna be making so many variations of this, and I will definitely be sharing that with you. Speaking of which, I want to hear from you. What do you guys want to see next? And also give this video a thumbs up if you're looking forward to more throwdown recipes. Of course, I'd love to interact with you below in the comment section, hear your feedback, your comments, whatever it is that you want to say. Go ahead and share it with me below. I usually definitely interact with you guys. Until the next video, Throwdown Lovers, make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. Turn on the notification bell in order for you to, of course, get that notification when the next recipe or vlog is up. Until the next video, I love you guys.